Hey guys, Buffing Game Bat today, bringing you a video. Today's video is a Modern Warfare multiplayer reveal recap, as well as Call of Duty Next Warzone 2 recap. I will be going live by the time this video is up. I will be live over on Twitch and probably here on Twitter as well for a special episode of The Scope with Crash Games FPS. So go ahead and check that out over on my Twitch and Twitter. Those links are down below in the description, and we'll be live on Crash's channels as well, on Crash Games FPS and his Twitch and Twitter as well, I'm sure. So I just wanted to make a video here to kind of react to everything. I did do the live stream today. We saw a lot of information today, and Crash and I will be talking about a lot of this live on that episode of The Scope. So be sure, after you watch this video, go ahead and tune in and check that out. A lot of information here. You can see the trailer running in the background. First off, my reactions to the multiplayer is that everything looks really, really good with the multiplayer. I think the no slide canceling is a big win. And I think that the dolphin diving isn't going to be a big deal because you're not shooting when you're dolphin diving. It looks like you can dolphin dive spam a little bit, but again, you can't fire with it. It doesn't make sense to be diving around the map, so like a frog. So I don't think it's really that overpowered, at least yet. We'll see how it is this weekend. I will be streaming the beta live tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern. I will be live over on YouTube with the beta. We'll be doing live streams this weekend. I will have the weapon video out, reacting to all the weapons in the trailer as well as in the beta tomorrow. I didn't want to do the weapons video today because they're going to get the hands on the beta tomorrow to get more in depth with things, so I don't want to have to do two videos on the weapons. But there's definitely some weapons in the trailers here that I don't think are in the game. But to recap, there are definitely some weapons that we've seen. We talked about the HK 3353. We talked about the M4, M16, AKS-74U, the Scar Light. We also talked about what looks like a battle rifle version, maybe the Mark 12 SPR. We also see the G3 making a return to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 this year. MP5, the AR-57, the Chris Vector and 45 ACP. We have the Benelli M4. The LMGs, typically it looks like the Icarus is going to be that Fight Light MCR. Shaping in 5.56, we have the HK21 in 7.62x51, and then we also have the IWI Negev 7 in 7.62x51. We have the PSG-1, which is a marksman rifle version of the G3, essentially. We have the M2 carbine making a return, and then for snipers, we have the Lynx 50 cal sniper rifle. So those are the weapons that we have, and we're going to be seeing at base for the multiplayer beta, which I'll get more into. That doesn't include all the conversions. There was a lot of stuff today. I did see Zenico furniture for the AKS-74U. There's going to be a lot of conversions and attachments we can do for different variants here that I'll get into, but definitely some things in the trailer that I spotted that doesn't look like they're in the weapons list, but we'll get into that more so when the beta releases tomorrow, and I can cover it, and we'll go through all of that, all the operators, etc. Overall, like I said, my opinions on the multiplayer are that multiplayer looked really, really fun. I was a big fan of the hostage rescue game mode, and Search and Destroy looked really, really good. The hostage rescue game mode looks awesome, where you're going in, you're rescuing the hostage, throwing them over your shoulder. You can only extract them with a pistol, so your teammates are going to need to cover you during that extraction of the hostages. Another thing is like Ground War. Like I said, Ground War looked really, really fun. Watching the Ground War gameplay, especially on the map Seraph Bay that they were doing, gave me really hardcore Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4 vibes. If you were to show me that gameplay and not give me any context whatsoever, I would have thought that was the new Battlefield. So I think Ground War, at least the looks of it, we'll get our hands on it hopefully with the beta this weekend, but the looks of Ground War are that it looks like a much more Battlefield-esque game mode than it was in Modern Warfare 2019. 2019, it was good, but it didn't really have a Battlefield feel to it. This looks like it has a Battlefield feel to it. It looks large combat. It looks like even in Ground War, they're calling it Ground War, and then there's another different mode that they're calling it, but there's going to be bots. So it's going to be 20v20 players, and then also 20 bots on each team. So essentially it's 40v40, making it an 80-player game, which is very large scale, and I do like the incorporation of the bots. You don't get kill counts for killing bots. It doesn't show up on the kill feed, but they're going to be there to pester you. They also confirmed DMZ, so that extraction mode we've been talking about is confirmed. It is the extraction type game mode. We didn't see anything on it, but that's going to apparently be launching with the game on October 28th, is what they said. However, Charlie Intel's reporting that it's going to be launching with Warzone 2 on November 16th, so I'm not sure which is true, but it sounded like what they were saying during COD Next is that it would be launching at launch of the game. on October 28th. So we'll have to wait and see really more about that. They're going to reveal more so soon. I'm sure we'll see some trailers and some more things here coming up in the next month or so leading up to the release of the game. Now, Ground War, like I said, looks really cool. There's also the addition of a third-person mode, which you can see a little bit in the trailer here. They show it very, very quickly. But the third-person mode, it looks almost identical, especially with the maps they are playing. Looks almost identical to Ghost Recon Wildlands. Looks really, really good. I like the way this looks. Obviously, there's not going to be like hardcover mechanics like there is in those third-person shooters like Wildlands, Breakpoint, SOCOM, all of that. But it is a really much more refined third-person mode than we saw in Modern Warfare 3, which I'm really happy with. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And that's apparently a toggle in the menu options. So you can do that theoretically in private matches for DMZ, for Warzone 2, for anything. So that'll be really fun for our custom games here in the community just to play around with all this stuff, especially in third-person mode. Now, the next thing, they talked about something called raids. Raids is going to be like a three team type thing, multiple teams of 3 trios. We didn't really get too much information about it, but I'll be covering that more so later when we have more information. It's going to be similar to like a DMZ type mode is kind of what it sounds like. But again, they didn't give us much information on raids or DMZ. Really, they just confirmed it and gave us a high-level overview in today's COD Next presentation. Now, moving on to Warzone 2. Warzone 2, for the map, I think it's called Al-Azhar, I believe it's called. I'm definitely not saying that correctly, but regardless, the map itself looked amazing. And again, it really reminded me, it looks like it takes place somewhere off the coast of Mexico or Bolivia or somewhere like that. It has heavy Ghost Recon Wildland vibes. And speaking of, we did see a lot of locations returning from, we did see some maps worked in there from COD 4 and things like that into the Battle Royale map. We also have, just in regular multiplayer for Modern Warfare 2, we do have maps that take place in Mexico. So that goes and confirms kind of to us the setting of like the Sicario-esque type story that we're going to be seeing here that we've talked about here on the channel. First leaked by Ralph's Valve way back last year. So that's really good to see. But the Battle Royale map looks a lot like Ghost Recon Wildlands. If you were to look at that, there's a couple of sequences during the live stream today where some people were riding in some of the SUVs and things like that, and I swear to God, if you didn't tell me it was a different game, I would have thought that was Wildlands when you're driving the same SUVs across the terrain. So really, really good looking map. There's a lot of really good locations, some returning locations, like we see I believe the same airport from similar airport from the original Warzone / terminal worked in. So there's a lot of returning maps that are reworked. They're not identical or anything, but they are very reminiscent, definitely based on, heavily inspired by territories or POIs that we know of. So the map itself looks really good. The way it plays, you have a backpack, you have to loot your ammo, you have to pick up your weapons off the ground. In the demos that they showed today for the beta for Warzone 2, there was not a loadout options, so there's no loadout drops, couldn't buy a loadout. Those will be in the final version, but today's demo or beta, it was just all ground loot. You could level up your weapons, buy weapons at the buy station, level them up with attachments at the buy station, things like that, buy kill streaks, but it was all ground loot. You have to pick up backpacks, pick up armor plates, armor carriers. You have certain slots in what looks like different sized backpacks, so very reminiscent of Blackout from Black Ops 4. They're definitely taking a lot there. Another thing they're taking from Blackout is going to be the health system. So you need to go into like bathrooms to go to med stations and get stims, meds, things like that. It looks like you might not be auto healing from the looks of it, or at least you need to, if you're auto healing, you need to also potentially have meds in your backpack to heal with. So I'm not sure quite how that's going to work yet, but you do need to pick up meds from med stations located inside buildings, bathrooms, etc. Instead of opening crates and having items explode out all over the floor, you're going to open the crate and go through the inventory system, just like you would in Black Ops 4's Blackout, to pick up things and carry them in your backpack. And like I said, there's different size backpacks to that as well. So overall, Warzone 2 looks awesome. It's definitely more slower paced, which is good because there's the looting mechanics in there, the healing mechanics. It plays more like an open world battle royale that I would like to see. You're spending more time looting, getting prepared to fight and also fighting, because you need to fight with the ground weapons you have. So it's not, they've gotten away from the land, do a contract, get as much money, get your loadout within 30 seconds, and then kill race. You can't really do that from what we're seeing so far. So I think it's going to make it a much more enjoyable experience overall. I'm really excited to get my hands on that on November 16th. Especially DMZ, the vehicle mechanics, blowing out tires, things like that. There's a lot of improvements here that I'm seeing that are really, really good, and a lot of logical choices that not necessarily make the game more realistic, but just make it play where you need to think a little bit more. It's not as mindless of a arcade shooter as it was in Modern Warfare 2019 and Warzone originally. This is more of, it's still an arcade shooter, but you still need to take the time to think about things a little bit more. So it gets away from that, okay, I'm going to throw these attachments on this weapon, get my loadout right away, and kill race because it's the lowest recoil weapon, etc. There's a lot more thought that needs to go into this, a lot more coordination. So I'm really excited to see how this all plays. I'll be covering the beta here tomorrow on the channel. So be sure to subscribe, like the video, check that out. And like I said, by the time this goes up, I'll already be live over on my Twitch with a special episode of The Scope with Crash. So we'll be doing that on Twitch and Twitter here. So go ahead and check that out. Stop on over. Check out the replay if those are up. And Crash will have it up on his channel as well. And then it will be uploaded to the Scope's YouTube channel tomorrow, most likely as well. So let me know what you guys think. What are your overall impressions? Now, like I said, there was a lot to digest here, especially with the weapons. I did see some people, DK Dynamite was running a Zenitco AKS-74U, which looked awesome, had the Zenit stock, and it also had a Zenit handguard on there. It looked really, really nice. That's probably the first weapon I'm going to be leveling up tomorrow in the beta, is the AKS-74U, to see what we can do with it. We're really excited. It looks like the Scar is unlocked at level 30, so we won't be able to touch that till next weekend, but I'm still going to have a good time with some of these other weapons. Let me know your thoughts down below. What are your overall thoughts of multiplayer, DMZ, the hostage rescue modes, Warzone 2, third person? There's just a lot. There's so much to go through here. Vehicles, there's new vehicles. None of the vehicles are really the same at all. They have new helicopters like Seahawks. There's a lot of new vehicles in the game. This game is, I would say, a lot of people were complaining because it looked just like Modern Warfare 2019. I would say it can't be anything further from Modern Warfare 2019. This is a completely different game. It may look visually a little bit similar, but I see very few things that are the same as they were in Modern Warfare 2019 and the original Warzone. So let me know your thoughts down below. This is Buffner Gaming with the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer, DMZ, third person, Warzone 2, open beta, everything, Call of Duty Next reaction video. Let me know your thoughts down below. There's a lot to cover the next couple weeks, months, years. We got 2 years of support for this, so it's going to be a good time. A lot of weapon conversions coming, a lot of weapon variants. I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, be sure to subscribe, like the video, hit that bell for notifications. And until next time, Buffner Gaming, out.